you're thinking about having kids, or maybe you have young kids, you might be thinking, what's the best way to save for their college? Well, there's lots of different options, but there's really three main ones you want to think about. That's the 529, the UTMA, and a personal regular investment account. I'll get into the details of those in a minute, but the main decision between those three comes down to how much tax benefits you want versus how much control over the money you want. To help you make that decision, it really comes down to your philosophy of parenting. There's two questions that you want to ask. So sit down with your wife, your spouse, get a glass of wine, and think through these two questions. The first is, how important to you is it that your kids go to college? You know, for some, it's really important. You know, their parents, everyone's went to college, or maybe they were the first in the family to go to college. And for others, it's like, well, college is really expensive. There's other routes, there's other careers. You don't have to. It's not necessarily a right or wrong answer there. It comes down to your particular philosophy. The second question is, how important to you in general is it to fund them, to give them a lump sum of money after high school, to get them started out in life? You know, some parents want their kids to learn the value of work and get a job and not necessarily get handouts. Some want to give them a better start, give them a head start in life and help them get going with different things, buy a house, buy a car, not necessarily college. So you want to sit down and answer those two questions, and then we get into these accounts, and that'll really help you determine which account and which strategy is going to be best for your kids. The first strategy is the 529 account, and this one is going to be the most tax advantage if the funds are used for college. They have to be used for qualified education expenses. Okay, now the 529, you put the money in, money that you're earning, that you're working, you put it in. You don't get any tax breaks when you put the money into the account. It grows tax-free, and then, so maybe you have 18 years of growth, of tax-free growth on that money, and then when they go to college, you use that money for college and it comes out tax-free. So it's really tax advantaged that basically you put that money in and it grows and you pay it for college and you don't pay any more taxes on that money. However, it has the least control because it has to be used for qualified education expenses. Now there are some other little intricacies in there. I'm not going to get into all the details here, but you can use that money for K through 12, so private school could be used for. Another really key thing with the 529 is that you can switch beneficiaries on the account. So basically how that works is you, as the parent, are the account owner. You have control over the account. The kid is listed as the beneficiary, so the money is going to be used for their benefit, for college specifically. But you can switch the beneficiary. You could switch it to another kid. Maybe this kid doesn't want to go to college, but you switch it to the next one. Or maybe you want to go to college. You can, later in life, you can switch it to yourself. They've also just recently made a rule where you can transfer some of that money to Roth. Some limitations, but that gives you some flexibility that there is a way out and maybe not all of the money has to be used for college. So in general, the 529 is really great tax advantage way to save for college, but it has less flexibility. Now, the UTMA is the second option. It's kind of in the middle between tax advantaged and control here. The UTMA, basically the way it works is it's like a simplified trust. The money goes into the account and now it's actually the kid's money. So it's different from the 529 in that way. It's actually the kid is the owner of that money now. However, because they're a minor, they don't know how to handle money, you as the parent become what's called the trustee. You govern how that money is to be used, but it has to be used for their benefit. Now, that happens as long as they're a minor. Once they reach the age of majority for your state, basically they're not considered a minor anymore. Now they're an adult. Now the money's theirs. It goes to them, boom, it's theirs. They can do whatever they want with it. You can't necessarily control that. Now, in general, if you think you're going to raise them right, then maybe they're going to be responsible with it. But there's always that chance that they go wayward and they can take it and go to Fiji and do whatever they want with the money. So that's the risk with the UTMA, is that you lose some of that control because it becomes their money. The advantage, however, is that it's taxed at the child's tax rate instead of your own. So basically, in a similar way to the 529, for the lifetime of the account, the money is essentially going to be tax-free. Now there are some other intricacies there where it could be taxed a little bit, But basically, it's going to be, for most people, it's going to be taxed free, lump sum to the kid, and when they have it, they're just starting out, used for college or purchase a home, whatever they're using that money for, it's going to be taxed at their rate, which is generally going to be a lot lower than your rate because you're more established in life, earning a higher income at that point. So again, it has some more tax advantages, not quite as much as the 529, but some more tax advantages, but less control. Now, the final option that you want to think about when you're saving for college is simply just a personal investment account. It's in your own name, it's your money. That's it, really. You put the money in. Now, it's going to be taxed a little bit each year. There's some details on that. I won't get into it, but basically, it's going to be the least tax advantaged of these options because it's going to be taxed at your own tax rates. It's your money, but you have complete control over it. You can, when they reach whatever age you want to decide, you can give them some money. You don't have to. You can use it for yourself. You have complete control over how the money is used. So that's where the advantage of that money comes in. Now, again, deciding between the three, you can use a combination of options. Sometimes you might do half in a 529 and half in a personal account. You have lots of options there, but it comes down to the philosophy of your parenting and how you think about how you want to use that money.